The wind howled across the barren plains of Korath 9. Jagged rocks jutted out like the bones of some long-dead beast. In the darkness, a figure stumbled through the rocky terrain, her breaths coming in short, panicked gasps. Her skin shimmered faintly under the twin moons, a soft pale blue that betrayed her alien nature. She was fast, but not fast enough. Behind her, the ground shook with heavy, rhythmic thuds. The creature chasing her was enormous, its shadow stretching like a moving mountain over the jagged landscape. Its multiple limbs ended in razor-sharp claws, and its eyes glowed red in the dim light, scanning every movement. Each time it roared, the sound cut through the night, chilling her bones. Lyra, the alien girl, ran as fast as she could. Her heart pounded in her chest. She had to find shelter, somewhere, anywhere, before the beast caught her. She could feel its presence closing in, the air vibrating with its sheer power. Her small frame, usually nimble and graceful, now felt fragile and exposed against the monster's relentless pursuit. Then she saw it, a small human outpost, barely visible in the distance. Lights flickered weakly from inside a metal cabin, and smoke curled from a chimney. She didn't hesitate. With a final burst of energy, she sprinted toward the outpost, praying it was inhabited. When she reached the cabin, she pounded on the reinforced metal door. "Please! Please help me," she cried, her voice trembling. Her words were in broken English, learned from distant transmissions, but the desperation was clear. Inside, a man froze. He was tall, with broad shoulders and a rough exterior, the kind of human who had spent years surviving in harsh worlds. He gripped a plasma rifle, cautiously approaching the door. "Who's there?" he called, his voice firm but wary. I'm running from it. A monster." Lyra gasped, her glowing blue eyes wide with fear. "Please, let me in." The man hesitated for only a second. Something in her eyes, the sheer terror, spoke louder than any words. He swung the door open, and Lyra stumbled inside, barely managing to close it before the creature's roar shook the cabin walls. The man quickly reinforced the door, activating the cabin's emergency force field. The creature banged against it, claws scraping metal, growling in frustration. Lyra sank to the floor, trembling uncontrollably. Her small body shook as fear and relief collided. "Are you hurt?" the man asked, kneeling beside her. Lyra shook her head. "No. I think I'm okay, for now," she whispered. The man studied her. She was unlike any alien he had seen before. Her skin glowed faintly, and her eyes had a depth that suggested intelligence and emotion far beyond most species he had encountered. "What's that thing out there?" he asked, nodding toward the shaking walls. It hunts me," she replied. "It wants to kill me. I was alone, then it found me." The man nodded grimly. "All right. First, we need a plan." He looked around the cabin, a small human outpost stocked with basic supplies and a few weapons. "Can you fight?" Lyra shook her head. "No. I'm not strong enough. I ran. Only ran." The man sighed. "Then we'll do this smart, not strong." He quickly explained a strategy to trap the creature using the outpost's security system. Lights would flash, doors would close, and electric barriers would stun it long enough for them to escape. As he worked, Lyra watched him carefully. There was something comforting in his calm, efficient movements. She had been running for hours, hiding in caves and crumbling ruins, always fearing the next strike. But now, she felt a small spark of hope. Hours passed, and the night grew deeper. Outside, the creature circled the cabin, its massive form barely visible under the moonlight. It roared, frustrated that its prey had vanished. Lyra pressed herself against the wall, her mind racing with memories of the creature's first attack. It had been fast, almost intelligent, and terrifyingly relentless. Finally, the man turned to her. "We're ready. When it comes back for another strike, the system will catch it. Then we run." Lyra nodded, gripping his hand tightly. I trust you," she whispered. The first strike came as the sun began to rise. The creature slammed into the cabin with a deafening roar. The security system activated, lights flashing, doors locking, and electric barriers sparking. The creature screamed, thrashing violently against the new defenses. It was powerful, but the system was stronger. Now, the man shouted. He grabbed Lyra, pulling her toward a hidden escape tunnel that led into the rocky cliffs. The creature pounded at the cabin behind them, but the barriers held. They ran, their footsteps echoing through the narrow passageways. Lyra's lungs burned, but adrenaline kept her moving. She glanced at the man beside her. He was human, strong, and steady, everything she needed in that moment. After what felt like hours, they emerged onto a small plateau overlooking a valley. The creature had given up pursuit for now, retreating into the darkness below. Lyra sank to her knees, gasping for air. "Thank you," she whispered, looking at him. "You saved me." The man smiled faintly. "You'd do the same for me if the roles were reversed." Lyra studied him carefully. There was kindness in his eyes, but also caution. Why help me?" she asked. "I'm not human. I am alone." "Everyone deserves a chance," he replied simply. "Human or not." For the first time in days, Lyra felt safe. She leaned against him, exhausted but grateful. The valley below was quiet now, but she knew this was only a temporary respite. The creature was still out there, waiting. But for now, she had shelter. She had a human who had risked everything to save her. Days passed, and Lyra recovered under the man's care. They shared stories of their worlds, the harshness of human survival and the beauty of Lyra's distant home planet. Slowly, trust grew into friendship, and friendship hinted at something deeper. But danger never truly sleeps. One night, the creature returned, smarter and more vicious than before. It had learned from its failures and was ready to strike again. Lyra's heart raced as the cabin shook with its rage. But this time, they were ready. The man had fortified the defenses, and Lyra had learned a few tricks of her own. Together, human and alien faced the creature. Sparks flew, metal groaned, and the night echoed with the sounds of battle. It was a test of strength, intelligence, and trust. Neither side would give in easily. Finally, after hours of relentless struggle, the creature was driven back, wounded and frustrated. The cabin stood, battered but unbroken. Lyra and the man collapsed to the floor, exhausted but victorious. Lyra looked at him, her glowing eyes filled with gratitude. I owe you my life," she said softly. He shook his head. "No. We owe each other. Survival, it's about trust. And tonight, we trusted each other." For the first time, Lyra felt a strange warmth in her chest. She was not alone anymore. And perhaps, in the vast universe filled with dangers and monsters, finding a friend or something more was the greatest victory of all. Outside, the wind whispered across the plains. Somewhere, in the shadows, the creature waited. But Lyra no longer ran alone. She had shelter. She had trust. And maybe, just maybe, she had a future.